Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, guys. Let me just take this off and put my hat down on my little hat hanger over here. This is my hat hanger. Look at the camera. No, look at the camera right there. Where are we now? We're in Eretz Yisrael. That's right. We are in Eretz Yisrael, Baruch Hashem, in Tzfas, Ir HaKodesh. Come, go to mommy, okay? Yeah.
Not that.
Okay. So you want to sit next to me quietly?
Yeah.
Okay. So, a few things before we start. Number one, today is Hey Ear.
Hey, here.
Hey Ear. No, it's Hey Ear. No, Hey of. Today's Hey of.
What's
Hey of.
of?
Whose yard side is that? The Ari.
Kodesh.
The Ari HaKadosh. Yeah, the Arizal. That's correct. And I actually, MITZVAH, I was able to go yesterday to Arizal's mikvah.
Hamiyas?
We went to the Ariz mikvah.
Like the Ayel.
Yeah, kind of like the Ohel. I also went to the caver of the Arizal. That's just right, like the Rebbe's Ohel, exactly. And I'm Yossi Lolian. I make videos about Torah and Jewish life. Welcome back to another Parsha video. Very far away from the barbershop.
Like the Eretz Yisrael or the Yerushalayim or the
Right? All those things are here. Yerushalayim and the Beis HaMikdash.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Or like Yerushalayim.
In Yerushalayim. Yeah. Do you want to go to Yerushalayim?
Or like Israel.
Well, Yerushalayim is in Israel. Okay. Today we're going to talk about the Parsha. We're going to talk about the Haftarah, and we're going to talk about Pirkei Avos. We're going to speak about all those things.
Yeah, like
Some really interesting stuff.
Or the Beis HaMikdash. It's like the Beis HaMikdash is like Pirkei Avos.
The Beis HaMikdash is like Pirkei Avos?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like.
Interesting. And
So,
we just want to say that this is the
so these
merit.
are plants, but these are plants.
Okay, can you go to mommy now, please?
No, I don't want to.
Okay, but then you have to be quiet, okay? So, in this week's, I just want to say that.
Covering my eyes.
Yeah, okay, but now you have to do it quietly, okay? So the learning that we're doing today is in the merit of bringing them home, to bring them home
Flat.
to the hostages and to support.
Flat.
Shh.
Put me on you.
Yeah, but then you have to be quiet, okay? Come. And it's in merit of bringing. It's in the merit of bringing the hostages home and protecting the soldiers on the front lines, and for the protection of Am Yisrael, and there should be peace in the entire world. Yudari, please, you're gonna have to go if you can. Okay,
No,
come.
do it.
Okay, so shh. Okay, but I have to read out of it. Okay,
I want to put it up.
you put it up for a second. Okay.
And then you're gonna read it over there, okay?
Okay, we're putting it up for a second, and then I'm going to put it back down because I need to see us. Okay. So, this week's Parsha is Shabbos. This week's Shabbos is also called Shabbos Chazon because of the Nevuah that we read in the Haftarah of Yeshayahu and Navi, which we're going to speak about. And okay, now I need to read out of this. Okay, thank you.
No, give it to me.
But I need to read out of it. Okay.
No, you read it there.
I can't see it there. So, Sefer
You
Devarim.
can't see it. What? Huh? You're lying.
We're live. These kind of people are watching. Okay. So Sefer Devarim.
You're alive,
Yes.
actually.
Baruch Hashem. Okay. Go to mommy. That's
And you're not
Want
sick.
to go to mommy? That's fine for candy.
No.
Go ahead.
No.
Go. Okay.
I wanna stay here.
Okay, but you have to be quiet then. So in Sefer Devarim is called by a few names. Actually called Sefer Eile HaDvarim in earlier like Midrashim and things like that. It's also called Mishnah Torah. It's called Sefer HaYashar. There's some reasons for that. And then it's also called Sefer Techaches in Tanad Ve'Eliyahu. Tanad Ve'Eliyahu, it's called Sefer Techaches, the Sefer of rebuking. Because Moshe Rabbeinu, guys, 1 second, please. 1 second, guys. Sorry.
No, nobody.
Mommy.
Don't pull me over here.
Come to mommy.
Don't pull me.
I want to show you something. Come here.
No.
Hey, look.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Let's get to it. So there was a little introduction over there. So the reason why it's called Sefer Techachah, the reason why it's called Sefer of Rebuke is because in the beginning of this Sefer and of our Parsha, Moshe is rebuking the Jewish people for all the things that they had done incorrectly in the desert, in their all their travels. And there's something very interesting actually that I saw, which is that all the Musar that was ever given afterwards, all the reproach that there ever has been in the Torah ever since, all of it is hinted, all of it is contained within the words of Moshe Rabbeinu. It can all be found in there, which is an incredible thing that people who are able to see into the secrets, into the depths of the Torah, can see everything in the words of Moshe Rabbeinu. Now I'm just going to go and speak about a few things regarding Musar. Now I'm a Lubavitcher Chassid, and Chassidim in general, especially the Lubavitcher Chassidim, we don't really learn Musar as a subject. It's not something that we're very into. However, the idea of Musar, the idea of needing, for example, it says Ehivis Habikeres, you should love being rebuked or reproached by, obviously, by someone who you respect, by a Rebbe, or someone who is a true Torah authority. That is something that is necessary in everybody's life. And in Chassidus itself, because the derech of Chassidim is more to, you could kind of say that Musar is more like the traditional idea of psychologist or therapy, where it's very much focusing on the issues and trying to fix the issues. And Chassidus is kind of like going on top and healing it from a place of being higher. But even within Chassidus itself, there's contained an idea, there's contained Musar in Tanya all the time. It's very important for a person to make a cheshbon, to make a to kind of look at make a real accounting of what they've done, and to fix themselves. And that comes in different forms. So now I'm just going to talk in general about the idea of Musar, and we're going to touch upon a certain sefer, the Chovos HaLevavos, and it's very, very, very popular now, especially Sha'ar Bitachon, the part of the called the Gate of Trust in Chovos HaLevavos, which became very, very popular. But in general, the sefer, we're going to talk about that and see how important, how integral it's been to just Jewish life throughout the generations. Beautiful, beautiful stuff I've never heard before, and probably you never heard before. Very, very cool stuff. So, like this. Number one, the Yehudi HaKadosh of Shischa, he would learn every single day. He would learn a few psukim from Sefer Dvarim, and he said that was because that was a musar for him. That was sort of his way of learning musar. And he told his Talmidim to also do the same thing, that every single day to always learn in Sefer Dvarim. Again, very, very interesting. Now the Siach Yitzchak, who is there was a sefer written by Rabbi Yitzchak Weiss. So Rabbi Yitzchak Weiss said about the Shoylem Yeshiv. Again, another tzaddik that I hadn't heard of before, because I'm have a lot to learn. So he actually said that in Elul, people would ask him. He many questions were asked to him about halacha and ways to act in how a person should conduct themselves in general, in Torah observance. And people asked him what should be learned in the month of Elul, and he said, the pasuk from Hosea, it's a very famous pasuk, "Chui machem devarim," take with you words, v'shuvu al Hashem, and return to Hashem. So he kind of put a spin on it and said, "Chui machem devarim," take the sefer of Devarim, this parsha, this sefer, the whole book, and with that you'll be able, when you read that, it'll have this effect of musar on you, and v'shuvu al Hashem, it'll cause you to do teshuvah. Something nothing to do with anything about the parsha. Something I personally find, which it's a very intense sefer of Chassidus. I think it's by the MITZVAH Rebbe. It's called Derech Chaim. It's a lot of. It's very very intense, and it causes a person to kind of be honest with themselves and really make an accounting. I don't know if it's for everybody. I heard a story that there was actually a chassid that because he took it so much to heart, it was making him sad. And I think I forgot which Rebbe it was, and I didn't see the story inside. Someone told me that the Rebbe actually told his children to take the book out of the house to make it disappear because it was affecting him so negatively. So obviously the whole point of Musar is so a person should come back and we have to serve Hashem b'simcha. But personally for me, this is something that I find that is very important learning in a time like Elul. But anyway, so just to we're going to come back to this idea of Musar, but I just want to go and speak about something that it says in Midrash Rabbah about Sefer Dvarim, something I don't remember ever learning before, and I thought was very interesting. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, this is in Midrash Rabbah, that the Sefer Mishnah Torah, that this Sefer Dvarim, Hayashagur B'fi Yeshua, it was fluent. It was Yeshua was always learning this, and he knew it fluently. And when Hashem revealed Himself to him before they were going to Yerichai, so he so to speak, he found them learning Sefer Mishnah Torah. He found learning. It says the Sefer Mishnah Torah biyadei, the book of Mishnah Torah was in his hand. In other words, that's what he constantly was learning. And he was taught. Hashem told him, Amar, he said to him, Chazak Yeshua, be strong Yeshua, Matzi Yeshua, and strengthen yourself. Another word of saying Yeshua. Lo yomush Sefer Torah zemipicha. Right, this Sefer Torah, this Torah, this that you're learning will not. Should never, move from your lips. It should always be, on your lips. And it says actually that at the time when they were having the Milchama, we were having the war, where famously Yeshua stopped the sun. It says that how did he do it? He took the Sefer Dvarim, he took the Sefer and he held it up, and he said, just as my lips have never moved. I have never stopped moving. Just like my lips have never stopped moving. I was always moving and speaking. I was always expressing through the Sefer Dvarim. So you, in turn, because of the strength that I have with this book, you will be quiet. You will stop moving, and that's what happened. So it was actually because of Sefer Dvarim, because of how much Yeshua had made it his, that he had the power to go ahead and tell the sun, "Hey, stop for the Jewish people, so we can win this war." So let's go back to speaking a little bit about Musar and this Sefer of Cheves Lavavis. So Shlomo HaMelech, he says in Mishlei, Hachzik b'Musar, hold Musar, hold the reproach, and Kihi chayecha. He said, right? There's a few other words in the pasuk. Kihi chayecha, because it's your life. And we see that many tzaddikim, it was very important that they learned some type of musar, some type of learning that required self-searching every single day. And it says about the Chassam Sofer that before he would learn the regular shir, they were learning. Obviously, Chassam Sofer was a big gaon. He would teach his students very deep, deep learning. But before that, before they would learn, the Gemara and the deep people that they were learning, that's my assumption. I don't know for sure, but I'm saying that's what the Chassam Sofer he was teaching his Talmidim. I believe I really should know more. There's a lot that I have to learn. So it says that he would actually he would learn Cheves Halavis beforehand, and you find in certain yeshivas, again by us before davening we learn Chassidus. And a lot of yeshivas before they learn, there's a shir of Musar, and that's because of this tradition of non-Chassidic yeshivas. Perhaps other Chassidic yeshivas as well. I don't know. I just know that in Chabad we learn Chassidus because that again it's the same result that we're looking for, but except from a different approach. Maybe you could say a more holistic approach. But anyway, getting back to this, so he again, the Chassam Sofer would learn with his Talmidim Cheves Lavis before learning. It shows just how important it was. And he once said, it's just incredible to see it. The Chassam Sofer himself said this. How much more so this is important for us. That he said that he told his students once, "Ta'minuli, believe me, should be yom she'enani limud misefer Musar, than the day that I don't learn from a sefer of Musar. Marigishani ba'atzmi hitstananu spiritual Hashem. I feel myself like a cooling off of fear of God." In other words, someone like the Chassam Sefer, even he was affected by the learning and the lack of learning of learning Musar. So this again teaches us that we definitely have to have a sheer of learning that enhances the Yiras Hashem. We can't and to just go right away and stick to the to the deep learning of halacha and the Masera, the mitzvahs and all that. It's obviously that's the main thing. But in order to be able to do that, in order to bring Yiras Hashem into everything we're doing, first you have to have the Musar or the Chassidus, whatever it is, that type of learning that will enhance Yiras Hashem. Now, some more about the Chovos HaLevavos. So we see that many big tzaddikim, many Hasidic rabbis even, were very, very, very adamant that it be learned. It had to be learned. And especially the Chassam Sefer. And there's something very interesting about Reb Pinchas Karitzer. Reb Pinchas Karitzer was a Talmud of the Baal Shem Tov. And he, after the Baal Shem Tov's passing, became a very, very big Rebbe himself, one of the greatest Hasidic masters. And it says about him, I unfortunately didn't bring down who said it, but I learned it last night, that Reb Pinchas Karitzer, he became how great he was after learning Chovos HaLevavos 1,000 times. So you can imagine, right? He had to learn it 1,000 times before he became who he was. Again, we see the importance of Chovos HaLevavos, and I personally have been learning it with my brother-in-law. Actually, we've been learning Chovos HaLevavos, and it's been life-changing. Mama's life-changing. To again, we've been learning Shar HaBitachon, but it just makes you realize the Shar HaBitachon, it gives you a whole other perspective, and it makes you realize how small, all the little things that we look at as are so big in our lives, and really everything comes from Hashem. Anyway, next. Hi guys, 1 second, guys. Okay, I'll see you soon. Okay, so this I want to say one more thing from the Rebbe, and this is something. This has to do with actually the title that I put under the thumbnail. That Hashem never let us go, even in our darkest time. What does that mean? So, right now we find ourselves in the 3 weeks, the time where, in general, it's been pretty dark times for the Jewish people ever since the times of the first Beis Hamikdash destruction. You could actually, even in the times of in the Midbar, right? The times that I think the Meraglim, when the Jewish people were when they complained that they didn't want to go into Eretz Yisrael, I think that was Tisha B'Av, and these times have been very tough. Now we find that, and this is going to also be spoken about in the Haftarah, but Devarim always falls out around the 3 weeks. Parshas Devarim actually always falls out either on Shabbos of Tisha B'Av or the Shabbos before Tisha B'Av. And so the Rebbe speaks about the first pasuk of Parshas Devarim says the words V'di Zahav. It mentions a bunch of places where the Jewish people had done things that were incorrect. And it says V'di Zahav. And V'di Zahav, Rashi says that it's not the name of a place. Rather, it's referencing the time when they had when they used Zahav, gold, in order to make the egel, to the sin of the golden calf. But what's interesting about what Rashi says is that he says that let's look inside. The surplus of gold, the big amount of gold that they had, and the question is, why did Rashi say bishvil? right? It sounds like Rashi is saying that it's because of the gold. And actually, we see somewhere else that in Parshas Kisisa that Moshe kind of said, you gave them so much gold. What did you want to do? What did you expect for them? Not to sin. And this is a part of a bigger sikha, and it's Chelek Yudalet Sikha Aleph, and I really recommend everybody to go learn it. Incredible sikha. I'm just going to give this little thing here. We see in Parshas Kisisa that also that actually that's what Moshe Rabbeinu said. Combined with the fact that Moshe didn't come down and they had all this gold, so he gave them the opportunity to do this sin. Now, the reason why Rashi says this, the Rebbe says, and this is in general for all the rebuke that Moshe Rabbeinu gave, is that the Jewish people, Moshe Rabbeinu, even in Rashi says this also, that even when he was rebuking them, he only did it in a hinting way. He didn't say, why did you guys do this? Why did you guys do that? Actually speaking about what they did. He only hinted to them. So he said, when you sinned with too much gold, and he mentioned different places where they sinned, because he still cared about the honor of the Jewish people and not to, humiliate them. And so the same way, even when Moshe Rabbeinu was saying that the Jewish people sinned with the golden calf, he was at the same time, and he was rebuking them. And in a way, he was even telling them, God gave you gold, and you took it and you did this sin, right? That's ingratitude. At the same exact time, he was hinting that it was because they had so much gold that they were able to sin, that if God wouldn't have given them that gold, maybe they wouldn't. He was giving them the benefit of the doubt and trying to minimize their sin. And the reason he was doing that, even though he was rebuking them and they needed that rebuke, is in order to still show the love that he had for the Jewish people, the love that Hashem has for the Jewish people, no matter what. And the 3 weeks is a time of reproach for the Jewish people. 3 weeks is a time that we're, especially the 9 days that we find ourselves in. We're right before Tisha B'Av, the Shabbos Chazayin, right now, which is the Shabbos right before Tisha B'Av. So that is a time where we have to be careful. We don't swim, we don't listen to music, and it itself is a reminder and a sting and a pang of guilt and pain that we have. And so that itself is a rebuke. And nevertheless, even in this time, even in Golus, this is when we read Parshas Dvarim, which hints on that even in the rebuke there is a love that Hashem has for us, and that everything that we're going through, the Golus that we're going through, is only so that eventually we should come back and be in Eretz Yisrael, which I have the privilege of being in right now, but in the full glory with Mashiach. And so the Yerida, the going down, is only for the Aliyah, and that's what we see from Rashi mentioning this benefit of the doubt, this limud zchus, this showing how, despite all the pain and everything we've been through, and despite like we said, despite our darkest moments, Hashem has always been there for us, and He's always protected us. And even in Golus, we shine. We've come back again and again, and there's so much hate, and so many people, and we're a miracle. The fact that we're here is an absolute miracle. And just wanted to share that with you guys. Now I'm just going to go quickly into the Haftarah. We don't have a lot of time, but I'm in Eretz Yisrael, so it's almost 5 o'clock here. Not too much time before Shabbos. But Haftarah speaks about the nevuah of Yeshayahu. He's rebuking the Jewish people, and it was even though he lived in the times of certain kings. Some of the kings were even very righteous kings, but because not all the Jewish people were righteous, therefore Hashem the Navi was rebuking, giving a message from Hashem saying that we're responsible for each other, that Hashem expects us to all be, how we're supposed to be. And we see, and it's the funniest thing, I wasn't sure if I wanted to mention this, but the anti-Semites have, the Jew haters, I don't like using the words anti-Semites because they go off, and anyway, the Jew haters, they always have this thing they always do where they look at the worst example of a Jew and they say, oh, that's a Jew. They don't look at the beautiful things that we've accomplished and the things we bring to the world and just the open apparent beauty of the Jewish people even till today. No, they take the worst example and they run with it. And I joke around with my friends sometimes that the Jew haters, they have a certain keen understanding no one else has. At the end of the day, the Jews are a family, and so therefore even the worst